he, when she stopped again, went forward and said, well, okay, Marilyn, possibly if you... And she interrupted and said, Billy, don't talk to me now. I'll forget the way I want to play it.
There was another myth that you met in Berlin before she became a myth. It's Marlene Dietrich, and you used her later as an actress.
Yeah, we made 2 pictures together. She was the exact opposite of what she represented on the screen. You know, when you saw her in Shanghai Express, when you saw her in Blue Angel, you know, there was that seductive vamp. So she is really a German Hausfrau, you know, and that's what she likes the best. She likes to scrub the floors and scramble your eggs, and yeah, she is a great friend of mine, and we kind of always used to laugh about the kind of thing they made out of her. Nothing like it.
When you went to shoot, for instance, after the war, Foreign Affair, how was Berlin, you know, since you had left it 15 years before?
Oh, it was a totally different world. But I had been in Berlin long before that. In 1945, I came to Berlin when I was with the army. It was fascinating, I tell you, to leave afraid for my life and then come back, you know, as one of the conquerors, as it were.
When you shoot, when you make a film, you throw old taboos, old totems, you don't respect, you show things as they are. I mean, for instance, Kiss Me Stupid, that's a very important thing because you raised the hell in America. What was, you know...
Well, I raised hell, you know. I don't want to give you the feeling that I'm such a rebel against the establishment. Not at all. The trouble with Kiss Me Stupid, which actually was a very chaste picture, was about a man who is caught. It is that eternal drama between duty and desire. He's a songwriter. He wants to sell a song to a popular singer. On the other hand, the singer wants to have an affair with the wife of the composer, and he does a substitution. Not only that he did not permit his wife to have an affair with the thing, he substituted her with the prostitute, and then he protected even the prostitute. It was really a very innocent picture. The problem there was, usually I don't talk in those terms, you know, was that I really was ahead of my time. It was just before we started liberalizing our code of ethics, you know, when censorship was just running amok. Cheers.
But nevertheless, you showed in Kiss Me Stupid that the housewife liked to be a prostitute for one night, and the prostitute enjoyed to be a housewife.
Well, that you're kind of you are sort of making a kind of a parallel sort of a thing, you know, which makes which makes you such a good newspaper man. It never occurred to the wife to become a prostitute for one night. She was crazy about that particular singer, Dean Martin, you know. She wouldn't have minded to have had an affair with him, but not really a prostitute. And the prostitute, you know, played by Kim Novak, she was a nice girl, you know. Nothing wrong with her.
You also broke political taboos. You know, when you made Ninotchka, you were far in advance of its time. It was when you wrote Ninotchka, it was a lightweight comedy, but it told everything about the trials and the purges in Russia. And 30 years later, you did 1, 2, 3, 25 years later, which was a film about anticipating the whole Russian and American connections, business connections.
Coca-Cola.
1, 2, 3 rose a hell too. I mean, it was attacked by both left and right.
Isn't that nice? I love it, you know, to irritate everybody. Ultimately, naturally, they're going to put me against this cellophane wall and shoot me from both sides. The communists, the capitalists. I love it.
Why did 1, 2, 3 raise such a hell?
It did not. 1, 2, 3 didn't raise any hell. Didn't raise enough hell. If it raised a lot of clamor, it would have been a bigger box office hit. No, the trouble was that on 1, 2, 3, the trouble was that while we were shooting the picture, which played West Berlin, East Berlin, and the endeavor of the Coca-Cola colonialism, it was a comedy. Everything seemed to be easy and fun and gay, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the film, while we were working, trouble started. There were too many people from East Germany escaping into West Berlin and West Germany, and they closed the border. They put the wall up, and it ceased to be a comedy setup anymore. And the picture was not what we expected it to be.
But it seems that for you, the Russian people have not, today, I mean, the communists have not a great sense of humor. Don't you feel attracted by trying to tease them a little?
Well, maybe I'm very primitive, you know, but gaiety, you know, is not their forte. I guess they have clowns in their circuses. They have dancing bears. They have kangaroos who play soccer, and people are screaming with laughter. But that's not my idea of having a sense of humor. And I will tell you one little anecdote about a Russian sense of humor. We were in Berlin and we were shooting 1, 2, 3, and they invited us to the East German film club called Die Möwe, the Seagull. We went there, and they had just run their apartment, and they said it was marvelous, it was wonderful, and it really showed up the depravity of the capitalist system, how a man can further his career by filthy tricks, by giving away the key to his apartment. And they said, you know, very typical of America, typical of New York. And I told them, look, a story like this could happen any place. It could happen not just in New York, it could happen in Stockholm, it could happen in Buenos Aires, it could happen in Tokyo. It certainly could not happen in Moscow, I must admit to that. And they were very, very pleased, you know, that it could not happen in Moscow. And then I told them why. I said it could not happen in Moscow because nobody can give you the key to your apartment so you can make love to a lady. Because if you give you the key to the apartment, there are still 6 more families living in the same apartment. That did not amuse them very much. You ran out of questions, huh? Just as well.
Almost 30 years after Sunset Boulevard, you made Fedora, and of course, there are echoes of the first film in Fedora.
By echoes, you mean echoes. You know, both of us have a nice little accent. Well, all I can tell you is, Michel, if it's an echo of Sunset Boulevard, I'm very proud. And I think it was very smart to try and make a picture with echoes of a very successful picture of mine. The stupid thing would have been if I would have repeated on a failure of mine. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I also think that you are very far from Norma Desmond and Fedora because you don't live in a dream, you look for reality. And I think Sherlock Holmes is very close to you. I mean, he's a collector, he's an inquirer, he's a man who wants to look for the truth.
Yes, he is also a dope addict, and he is also, in some versions, maybe homosexually inclined, having something to do with Dr. Watson. But he's bright, he's smart, he is enigmatic, and I'll buy that. It's fine. You think I'm Sherlock Holmes? Okay.
And he's a rational man who is afraid of giving way to too much emotion or too much passion.
You don't think I'm emotional or passionate? Do you want me to mention some names? You want to ask some people?
Well, I think in a way that your later films, like precisely Sherlock Holmes and Avanti, have a more mellow mood and more romanticism.
Don't say that. That scares me. I must stop that. I don't want to be known as that. I want to be known as a cynic, as somebody with a vitriolic tongue. I like that much better. I don't want to be known as a softie. Please.
We won't keep that.
No, no, no. Just we keep it, but we keep it between us, a secret, okay?
You like to switch all the time. I mean, there's a Wilder touch, but not a Wilder specialty. You go from drama to comedy, from farce to suspense.
That's correct, yes.
You're unlike other directors in that respect.
Yeah, well, I have done every kind of picture except a Western. However, I think that the wise man is Hitchcock, you know, who's known for his suspense pictures. He does a certain kind of a picture, does it beautifully, and people know what to expect. But it would sort of, it would bother me. It would bother me I would find it boring, you know, to do always the same kind of a picture. I try to switch styles. When I'm very, very sad, I'd like to make a comedy, and when I'm in a very happy mood, I'd like to make a very heavy drama.
But you are a serious director. I mean, you have...
You're very kind, Michel, but just between the two of us, you know, I don't think that making movies is my entire life. Now, if there's one thing, you know, that I hate more than not being taken seriously is to be taken too seriously. And when you say that I'm searching for truths, and so and so, you French sure know how to flatter somebody. I'm just trying to make a living. Get 2 hours of film and I don't really give a shit whether how true it is, how great it is. Just get it over with. Print that.